Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. What are we going to be talking about? I don't know. Why did I say it like that? Who knows? I will say, maybe we're going through some wild times right now. The new patch actually might be out right now, to be honest. What I thought it would be. I'm not sure. We've only got Starlight Stage open, so who knows. But good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 10:01 PM on Thursday, November 6th, 2025. But yeah, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, the day after, and I'll be back on Sunday. In time for stream? I'm not sure. Probably not. Or if it will be, it'll be a short one, and almost certainly instead, I'll probably be recording videos. But it will be enough to not have a pre-recorded Animal Crossing. So, that's what I'm doing right now. And we are just sort of chilling until then. Might be like, what are you doing? Basically, I'm going to like a sort of watch party, I suppose, sort of League of Legends World Finals, which will be going on, and thus will not be here. So you got 2 pre-recorded episodes coming your way. I don't even remember what they were like. Were they good? I generally have no recollection of them. Oh no, I do remember them now. They were fine, is what I'd say. But yeah, what should we talk about? I don't really know. I've recorded the new series. The thumbnail I don't think is quite done, but it's almost done. Like it's a very simple thumbnail art. As I found out, I think the background's done. I think the only thing that's left is to shade D in it, if I remember. Yeah. The only thing that's left is really to shader, which will probably be done in like 20 minutes or so. So NBD right there. I thought it'd be significantly worse, and probably if I stuck with what my first idea was, it would have been. But then, you know, after playing the game, I was like, I'm not really sure that's the right vibe. The game certainly has a much more eerie vibe than I expected it to, which is certainly fascinating, I would say. But yeah, what are we talking about? I don't know. Should we try and find a conversational through line? Not that I have one at the moment, but theoretically there should be something. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm generally trying to think of like a conversation topic. I watched like I've been very tempted to watch quite a few things right now. One being the Bandori new animes, Maigo and Abe Michika, because I've heard really good things about them, and also the Uma Musume anime, specifically Cinderella Grey. I keep hearing good things about it, and I actually did watch a sort of clip of a race that Super Creep took a part of, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of fun. To be honest, like it makes a surprisingly fun like sport anime. It's like, you know, My Hero Academia, that's my step into the shonen side of things. And my favourite parts of it, like everyone else hates the sports festival and the culture festival. Those are my favourite parts of it, for whatever reason, I don't know why. And that it was genuinely a lot of fun to watch. So I watched like the Super Creek episode. You know, Super Creek is top 5-ish characters, I think, with me, and it's certainly a lot of fun. I think, to watch. So you know, I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted to actually go ahead and watch the things. How's the Musical.ly coming along? I think the voting will start tomorrow, right? Something like that, or yeah, the deadline is in an hour. I've already submitted mine. Dynamic Duo. I didn't have a song for Dynamic Duo. I've now thought of a song. I'm not sure if it super fits the theme. I think the theme is a bit hard to define in my head, which makes it difficult. But like, I don't know. To me, I guess it's a sort of jolly is not really the right word, but it's sort of like a something on the silly is the wrong word as well. I don't really know how to describe it. But yeah. I'm just trying to think of something to talk about, to be honest. I don't know why, like, the conversation is just not flowing. ATM. We're just, I'm just sort of trying to think about, like, what part to get through. Games? Anything going on? Pokemon? Anything going on? I still haven't managed to pull a Mega Altaria. All the gacha games. I think I already spoke about it. I got pretty lucky, to be honest. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know really what to talk about. I know a Celebrity Traitors final is on tonight for UK. You might be like, what does that mean? Well, Traitors is like the current hit, I think, social deception reality TV show. Which it's kind of, I don't really know what you do except for, like, there's a group of faithful people and then there are a group of traitors as well. And then I think they do like challenges, and then some of the traitors basically try and sabotage and then eliminate people or something. It's basically Mafia or Werewolf if you played any of those. Which, you know, honestly, if you've never played it as a party game, you absolutely should. Like, almost everyone I think I played with has enjoyed Mafia. And then if people start being like, oh, Mafia's a bit boring because, you know, half the time you're not really doing anything, then you start introducing Werewolf with different roles. I mean, Mafia technically has different roles as well, but, you know, Werewolf's the one where I know the roles. One Night Ultimate Werewolves specifically. And yeah. And what does that mean? I don't know. But I just know it is just the final. Today, and I know people are very excited for it in general, which is cool, you know. I've certainly heard a lot of rumours about people talking about it. I've been actually recommended to watch a celebrity one because apparently it's a lot more low-key. And I think about, like, the social deception sort of shows I used to watch. And there used to be a show called The Mole, which it wasn't so much I watched it for my own personal interest, but certainly it was my sister who liked it quite a lot, so I ended up watching a decent amount of it. I think it's an interesting show, and it's actually a pretty well designed show. Basically, it's a social deception where someone is sabotaging all the challengers or doing their best to, and basically how you stay in the show is you have to answer questions based on who you think the mole is. There's a really good video I watched about it, which like exemplified like why it was such a well-designed thing. But yeah, it was basically like you have to, at the end of every single episode, you answer a quiz, basically testing you, how well do you know who the mole is? And based on how well you answer, you either get, you know, good responses or I suppose bad responses. Because the more that you can answer correctly, the more you can answer correctly, the more likely it is that you'll stay in the show, right? You get me? And I always found that particularly interesting as like a sort of mechanic. Like the mechanic is not how well you can eliminate other people. The mechanic is how well you can understand the game and understand how other people are playing. Which is a very fascinating thing, I think, in its own right, isn't it? So Traitors, I don't know. Is it as good as they say? Probably. I'd assume it's as good as they say if people enjoy watching it as much as they do. So if anything, I'm just more sort of curious. Like, who won in the end? I don't know. Do the traitors win? Do the faithfuls win? I don't really know how it's defined. But there's a very interesting sort of I'm not sure dichotomy is the right word, but it was very sort of interesting from the outside looking in perspective I have at the moment, where I'm just like, I don't really know how the beats of a show go. I don't really know what happens in each sort of like section of a show, so to speak. So I can't really tell how things work in the show, if that makes sense. Not necessarily like a bad way, just sort of like a "'tis how it is" sort of way. And yeah. And I'm trying to think what else to say about it, but I don't really have anything else to say about it. I'm going to be doing my Uma Musume, I think, Champions Meet runs right now. Just before anyone can remake their characters in a new mode, which has just been released. I'm going to be here slamming these racers to be racing against people's unmatched versions, because I've already qualified for the next round. It doesn't really matter anymore. I would like to get a 5-win thing, but if I wait till next lunchtime, which is usually when I race, people are going to have remade their aces, myself included probably. So it's not like I'm exempt from that. But yeah, I mean, and Betratus is interesting with like how much it's sort of caught the world by storm, and apparently it's like extraordinarily dramatic. In a good or bad way, I'm not really sure, mind you. It's certainly in a very interesting way, because of how wild it can get. Apparently there's like some very dramatic things of, oh my gosh, this person just absolutely destroyed. There's been some very dramatic things of like someone basically falling in love with one of the contestants or something, of them betraying them or something to actually get the win, which, you know, is wild. I would say. I do look at these cards sometimes and be like, how did I lose this? Like, my stats are better. I have more skills or whatever. How does this even work? You know, sometimes it's just a lack of a draw. But it's kind of cool to see it sort of it's loaded up, and I wish, in some ways, I wish I had more time to actually watch it. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not the craziest thing. I don't, but people really do love a show, right? So, I'm excited for people who are going to have a fantastic time, I suppose, watching the finals, seeing what's happening, making their predictions, trying to understand what's going on. Because there's a lot of interest in you, but there's always like a certain, I'm not sure jealousy is the right word, there's a pang of sort of like, oh, you know, this would be cool to engage with, like knowing X, Y, Z. I think being able to talk about it with others who like also share the same sort of similar interest. That I always think would be really cool, but again, I don't really watch a show, so it's kind of hard for me to place it or say it. Okay, this person's one's just stronger than mine. This person's one doesn't feel much stronger. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. I don't know. Maybe it is stronger. That's okay, because I got time to remake my characters and remake my cards. Yeah, that's just kind of a thing, like with traders. Like I know I've said like literally nothing of substance, within the past like 14 minutes somehow, but it's very interesting. I think the situation of hearing about the show, like without having seen it, without really knowing what's sort of going on with it or inside it. I'm just sort of like vaguely aware of the disparate elements of traitors. You know, it's about betrayal, it's about social deception and that sort of thing. You know, you've got a group of faithfuls and they're trying to vote out the traitors or something, and the traitors are trying to eliminate all the faithfuls, and then, you know, they split the prize money. And in this celebrity version, it's a charity version, so it doesn't really matter all that much who wins and who loses, because everyone wins when charity wins. Yeah, so it's interesting in the outside listening, because I hear all these names, like I know who the traitors are, Not because I watched it, but because people have told me. And I know who are like some of the strong faithfuls. I don't know if they've been eliminated, but like there's a certain interest, I think, in hearing in passing like news like this. Like, obviously this is not big news or anything. This is more like light news, current affairs, but literally to do with the traitors. It's interesting to hear these sort of things go on, discuss, like, because I have a picture in my mind exactly of how the traitors, how any part of it has played out. Whether it's accurate or not, I certainly can't say because I don't know. And if anything, I would say it probably is not. But in my mind, there is a way that it plays out. There's a way that like people interact with each other, and there's a way that certain things happen, and it makes it very, very interesting, I think, to try and sort of figure out, oh, you know, is that indicative of the truth? Is that reflective, or is it not? Is something else going on? I don't know. That's what I mean to say. So, on that note, I guess I'm just going to round this episode off here. I don't really have anything else to talk about. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.